Hey everybody, it's Donna here, and we're going to talk about the wolf spirit today. So the wolf spirit wants us to know, turn knowledge into wisdom. It's also the number 67. So you add up 6 and 7, which would be 13, and then in numerology you add those two together and it would be 4. So 4 is always life to me. There's a lot of cultures that talk about 4 being death, but you know, life and death are one and the same. Inevitably that's our future, hopefully far away, but it's always a great number to get in terms of reconnecting to what's really important in this life. That's how I always think of it. And this message is exactly that. So turning knowledge into wisdom, the wolf. So think about all the things, even just in quarantine, that you learned about yourself that maybe you didn't realize you needed more. You were having anxiety and different ways to handle your anxiety. Maybe you were needing more outside time. Maybe there were things in your house you were like, wow, I forgot that this project wasn't finished. And I've been doing that personally because it's hard to run a business and redo all these things in my house. So this has been a great time for me to take little projects here and there and take my time and, you know, do what I've envisioned in the house when I first moved in. So go back to that. Go into how you envisioned your home, how you envisioned your life, and whatever you have learned, even if it was hard, a hard lesson, try to figure out where the positive is in that. This is about being on the right path. So, you know, I was in corporate America for many years, and I would have stayed there if my original company didn't get bought out. I loved the people, I loved working there, it was my hometown. But, you know, I moved to the parent company that bought them out, then I moved to another company, and it just didn't fit anymore. I wasn't willing to do what I would consider for myself this dance of having to be agreeable with people I didn't respect and having to sit across from someone who was very unethical. I mean, it started to overwhelm me, and they were all signs for me that I needed to be in a career and a lifestyle that was genuinely helping people, and that's what I did in my spare time. I've always volunteered, I've always donated, and I want people to feel better. I want people to have a better life. And what it turned into was me working on my own things. Like, what are the things that I haven't healed, or I put a nice Band-Aid on, as pretty as it may have been a Band-Aid, but what haven't I fully actually gone into that deep dive and done the dirty work of healing? And healing's a lifetime process sometimes if something's really intense. So it's not to say it's a quick 6-week plan. Sometimes it can be whatever your body and your mind can handle if it's a trauma. And maybe it's just dealing with, there's a lot of people who've gotten laid off or gotten fired, and that's a trauma to them. And that takes a really long time. You know, for me, it was a relief because I got laid off and it was a really bad fit, just a really bad fit. And there were really great things I got there too. You know, there were some really nice people. So what can you look at in your life, especially in this year has been just completely crazy, and it's bringing up all the things that you haven't wanted to look at or work on. It's bringing those things up on purpose. So what can you take away from this and use it as knowledge? So that doesn't mean, you know, I remember I like woodworking. I'm now going to get out of my corporate job and get into a woodworking job. It doesn't mean that. It could mean that to you, but it's more about maybe adding in to your schedule more time for you to do woodworking. Maybe it's adding on your schedule, hey, every 5 months I'm going to call this person. There's so much learning I've had with this quarantine time, and just make a list of all the things that were really just awful, even things that were just really, you didn't deserve it and it showed up for you. And then take one at a time, and next to that, try to think of a positive from it. So for me, I got laid off. That was horrible. It was like, I've never not had a job. You know, that was really intense. But I wouldn't have left corporate if that didn't happen. If I wasn't this far away from my hometown, if I wasn't this far away from people who could help me get back into my industry. My industry got hit hard at the same time. So it was all these elements of the universe saying, finally, we have you in a place. We want you to do this other work with people. That is what my calling is, and that's where I feel the best. I feel the best making people feel better about themselves, and I want to be someone's support when they're going through something, whatever it is. So I am in a perfect career for myself. So what can you look at? And it's not an easy exercise, but what can you look at even through this whole coronavirus? Like, what has come up that's been just really terrible, but maybe there's some positive in that, and you don't know what's ahead that's a positive as well. So taking that positive part and using that as your experience, and maybe it's, well, I never put in my contract that if something happened, and now I know that. So my next job, I'm going to specifically note this severance package or this whatever it is that will help you if something does happen, you know, because who knows if this will come back again, you know. So what have you learned? And Zoom, you know, like Zoom has been so great. Like how many meetings, how many things can we just do over Zoom? That's just a really great way to get a lot of work done and not have people moving here and there. I remember driving everywhere when I was in corporate. I was constantly in my car going back and forth. And that's really tiring. You're stressed about work, and then you're stressed about the drive. So, you know, just try to take baby steps and even just work on, you can even just do a first list of positives from just right now. What are some positives you can think of in your life? Some things that you're really grateful for, and then go through the things that were hard. Try to start with something small. But I think this is a really powerful message, and the wolf has so much history. Like the coyote, you can look it up. There's all these, you know, people love getting the wolf as their totem, and a totem can be like a life totem, and it can also be something shows up in your path that helps you at that exact time. I get tons of messages from birds and different animals, and I pay attention to everything because for me, it always is a sign and always is a message that I need. So what learning, what knowledge can you help your own life with that experience? So again, maybe it's the experience of this really sucked and I never want to go through that again. Or maybe it's, hey, my communication, like some of the parts of the communication issue, I thought I was saying one thing in one corporate job, and that person thought they were saying something else. We both were on two different planes, but we had the language that sounded like it was a fusion, but it was really, we were in two different places. So maybe it's going back and taking the time to recheck everything you're saying, recheck your communication. Right now, Gemini Spirit's really high, and that's all about communication. Maybe it's double checking how someone else is reading it. You can even say, hey, I'm going to read this back to you. This is what I'm hearing. Is that what you're saying? Maybe it's communication with yourself. Maybe you just really stopped and heard yourself, because the crazy days, we don't have a lot of time to stop and think. Maybe you finally heard yourself saying these really horrible things to yourself when you weren't giving yourself a shot to try something new. So just pay attention and definitely let me know what it is. I'd love to hear how you guys are coming along with this. And so happy wolf spirit, and look forward to more videos. I'm going to get through more animals, and then I'm going to start with some other messages. So I'm excited to start the new and complete this passage so far. Have a great day, and I hope everyone's doing well. And remember to follow me on Facebook at Divine Inhale LLC. Also on Instagram, I'm Donna Divine Inhale. And then I also have another Facebook page, which I'm going to start posting all of my inventory. I sell all kinds of crystals and all kinds of bohemian home things, and I'm going to start selling a bunch of new things that are coming in. So find me on Seeker-Divine Inhale, and look forward to all the amazing things I'm going to post, because I'll have some raffles as well. Have a great day. I hope everyone enjoys today. Bye.